Hi everyone, this is Paula Dillon. For my education systems project, I have decided to investigate what we can do in public comprehensive high schools to transform our current system of education to be more student-centered, constructivist, project-based, and authentic, so that students have an opportunity to go deeper into their learning and apply what they're learning to authentic situations. In my attempt to understand what we're able to do, I decided that I would do two different things. One is to build this website of the research that I'm engaged in, the schools that I'm looking at, the tools that people can use as they reimagine their high schools. And the second part is to work with like-minded colleagues from across several districts who are also interested in this same process. I've captured that work in the blog. The purpose of this video screencast is to give a tour of the website so that you're able to understand the resources that are available on here and why I have opted to include them. So we're beginning on the home page. And on the home page, I have included just a brief overview about the purpose of the site and why I'm doing this work. On the research page, I've included various research articles by category that I have been reading and sharing with my colleagues. If you were to click into any of the article sections, you'll find actual links to the articles and a brief synopsis of what the readings are saying. I've done a similar piece on the literature page, and so these are texts that I have been reading, investigating, or sharing with my colleagues, as well as an overall synopsis of the themes. Included throughout, you'll find different videos that are relevant to the purpose of the page, the purpose of the research, the purpose of the tools. The example section is a really great section because in this section I have examples of 21st century high schools that are extremely innovative. You can click to that here. And I have videos from each of the schools because, in my opinion, it's easier to understand what a school is trying to do if you have a little bit of a visual or audio explanation from the school itself. In addition, in the example section, I have different strategies. So SAGE is students who are engaged in global entrepreneurship. And this was started by a professor from University of California, and different schools can petition to be a part of this organization and give students those opportunities in their own buildings. Opportunities by Design is by Carnegie Foundation, and again, it's combining the Common Core and what's expected of the Common Core with opportunities for going deeper in authentic learning. Next Generation Learning takes in that project-based, that authentic learning, looking at new structures of learning, and really blends it together nicely. And then the BIE is the Buck Institute for Education, and they are well known for their innovative practices in project-based learning. So if you were to click on any of those, it will take you to the site and give you information about what tools are available for you in your planning processes. Speaking of tools, I also have this page, which is really great because as we're thinking about reimagining high schools, we need to think about several things. So we need to think about classroom learning spaces, and here I have some interactive tools to help you design classroom learning environments to meet the needs of 21st century. In addition, a tool that my team is using is this New England Secondary School Consortium Global Best Practices, and that is allowing us to conduct self-assessments of our current high schools and our current realities to see where we are in terms of reaching 21st century best practices in our buildings. Another tool that we'll be using is the Deeper Learning Planning Guide. This will occur once we have had an opportunity to fully break down our self-assessments. And the Deeper Learning Planning Guide is actually a great strategic plan tool builder, for lack of a better word, and it allows you to bring in those deeper learning strategies into your own organizations. And then below I have a few others that we've investigated. We haven't quite decided when or where we're going to be using them, but we have looked at them, and they are available. So You Think You Want to Innovate is from the Learning Accelerator, and it's great because it has tools for state and district leaders who are interested in building a culture of innovation. So it's above the actual high school level. It's at the district and the state level, but it still is a great tool and great thinking points in there. And then we already talked about the Carnegie Foundation Opportunities by Design, and then they have this nice infographic of 10 design principles that I've included as well that talk about the elements of a high-performing secondary school. In addition, many school districts who are engaged in 21st century learning are layering in some virtual and online learning opportunities. And so here I have provided some that we have looked at or that we're using in our own districts. In my district, we do use edX, which is amazing. It's free online courses from some of the most competitive universities in the country, in the world really. It was founded by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and there are all different courses in there. High school courses, AP courses, college courses from Harvard, MIT, and just the most competitive universities from the world. And then I have some list of online courses, Coursera and MOOCs. Edgenuity is an online virtual high school course opportunity, and then Khan Virtual Academy. It's now aligned to the Common Core standards, and there are virtual tutorials for students to help them as they're working through some of their learning. And then one of my favorite aspects of this work is the ability to include this blog. And so we'll start from the bottom. And this blog really takes you from a step-by-step overview of the work that I'm doing with my colleagues and how the process began. So the conversation begins, talks about why we decided to do this and what was the impetus for our thinking, and so we meet again, talks about the decisions that we made at our second meeting. I had an interesting opportunity that was really helpful to get critical feedback from the students in the Northeastern course, and from there I refined some of what we're doing as a collaborative team. And then we've just started to build in some action steps. And this is our first iteration, and this is by no means a perfect look at what our action plan will eventually be. We met yesterday and decided that we needed to put down in paper what our first action plan will roughly look like, and this is a synopsis of that. One of the things that we haven't gotten to from our Critical Friends group is including a wider group of stakeholders. So that's something we're doing this summer. We're bringing in our principals and school leaders from our high schools to work on this together. But we have defined the framework. We have included the secondary tool at this point, and now we're going to layer that on with the Deeper Learning Planning Guide, Strategic Planning Guide. And this is the website walkthrough. So hopefully you find this website walkthrough helpful, but more importantly, I hope that you find the resources and tools and even our collective thinking helpful as you perhaps think about reimagining your own organizations. So I thank you for your time. And again, I truly do hope this is helpful.